Warlord Chul'rush's testimony, taken from 4chan and posted by Harlequin. When the humans challenged the Galactic Confederacy, the first response was to laugh. There were a dozen species in it, most with hundreds of systems under their control. The humans had a mere dozen or so, penned in on all sides by the other races. Because galactic law prohibited orbital bombardment as a war crime, we fought mostly on the ground. We did not believe the humans would offer much resistance. After all, a stranger has the strength to casually crush a human being in the palm of its hand. The Okaliks are weak, but their armies number in the billions. The Oringa are the finest pilots and mechanics in the galaxy. Each of the other races, including my own, had advantages over humanity. Strength, speed, intelligence. On paper, the humans should have been doomed. They were outnumbered, outgunned, and outmatched. We underestimated them. That was why they survived. The humans have advantages of their own. 3 major ones we didn't consider relevant at the time, but which are all too well remembered now. The first is their skill with ranged combat. Each human has the ability to fight at a distance innately. Of all the species that do have this ability, humans are the best. Their natural abilities, cybernetically augmented, human aim is almost perfect. The strength of the Strenger and the numbers of the Ikaliks are irrelevant, but the humans could fire more bullets than we could send to soldiers. Everything they have is designed to fight at a distance. Their ships, their tanks, everything. Many of our species fight in melee because ranged combat can only be accomplished through cybernetic augmentation. A human can fight better than the ranged combat experts of most species without augmentation. We put those augments into a lot of our soldiers very fast. It didn't do us much good. The humans have been fighting ranged warfare since their species crawled out of the mud. If we got close enough to fight them in melee, we tore them to shreds. We did not get that chance often. My race alone could match them at range using our scatterguns. Our inferior aim compensated for our speed and lack of need for accuracy. Were it merely that, we still would have won, but it was not. Their greatest strength made them impossible to pin down. Of all the creatures in the galaxy, I have not seen a creature that endures like a human. They are not tough, they are not fast. Many species beat them in those ways, but humans never stop moving. Most creatures need to sleep for a full cycle after a burst of activity, but humans naturally sleep less than half of that, and their augmentations took that time down to almost nothing. Compared to most of us of the comparable size, they require little sleep or rest. Their armies never stopped moving, and because we had to stop to rest so much more often than they chose the battlefields suited to their strengths at range. Their assaults never stopped. Their movement never stopped. They shifted and moved and changed. Their vehicles lasted so much longer than ours did. Because they were so enduring, their machines were designed to go on forever, never stopping. The Oringa designed vehicles that were much better than theirs in terms of toughness, maneuverability, speed, and almost every other category. But their vehicles still needed to stop every few hours for maintenance. The humans would never have tolerated that, as we do. Their vehicles can go weeks without maintenance or repair, even after battle. The humans would simply raid and over and over again, avoiding engagement until our vehicles needed maintenance, and then they would assault with everything they had. I could run down a human hover jeep and blast the occupants inside once, but after that I would be too exhausted to move. I would need to feed, need to sleep. The humans are slow as glaciers on a frozen ice world, but they don't need that. They let us attack them, then simply kept pressing and pressing and pressing until we fell. We died. So many of us. And the third thing, perhaps the most important, my people are hunters. We wiped out most prey species on our world long ago. We have the instinct to kill, but we are hunters. We do not fight when pressed. We flee to strike from stealth and with speed. The Ilkaliks and the Strenger are descended from plant eaters. They are prey species and fight like a herd. They move as one in vast numbers, but led by few individuals. Take out the leader of the herd of the stringer, and they crumble. The Ilkiliks are too stupid and do not value their own lives enough to crumble. But due to the human guns, they were practically irrelevant in the fight except as cannon fodder. Perhaps only the Auroringer had the same spirit as the humans, but there was no match in close combat, nor their endurance. The humans are pack creatures, predators that came from prey. I can smell it on them. They are prey that banded together, fought like mad, and learned to eat hunters. We have a creature on our world that fights like that. They will be struck lethally by venom of a beast and fight until they die, unheeding of wounds, simply to strike at those that struck at them. They will fight suicidally simply for revenge. But they are simple animals and loners. Humans have that spirit, but they are no animals, and they are pack creatures. Kill a member of their pack, and they remember your face. They hunt you down in that slow, never-stopping movement of theirs, with their horribly accurate guns. I remember a human we had fired on, 37 blasts of the scattergun to his torso. He killed 3 of us before he died, screaming in rage about the death of his pack. My instinct screamed at me to run, even as we held every advantage. The battle madness is rare among species, and the humans are born with it. True, some died cowering, but so many died with that insane, suicidal madness in their eyes. On each world we fought, I killed many humans. Among my people, I'm a hero for doing so well in a hopeless war. I do not tell them about the times I hid, crawling on my belly under logs or hiding in corpses to avoid the humans' latest unending attack. I do not tell them about the many bullets from the human gun still embedded in my torso. I do not tell them about the humans I shot in the face who managed to stab me in the gut with a knife even as he died. They are not prey. We cannot rule them as we have the others. The humans survived their little war and gained a few dozen more battle-scarred planets in the process. Our species alone lost over 3 billion soldiers. We tell ourselves it was a minor skirmish with a minor race, no big loss. I say that if we have many more minor skirmishes like that, we won't have much left to fight real wars with, and should we fight them again, find another hunter, I will not battle with them another time. I will end my days hunting of prey species, hoping a battle-mad human assassin doesn't ignore the treaties and kill me. Warlord Chul'rush of the Shalani. End of story. Story number 2. Overheard in a bar, written by Fontaigne. The Varaxi took another sip and lowered his voice, ready to dish out the latest gossip. His 2 Dinto friends leaned in. I heard that Zavkat got onto the human station at Horsehead Reef. Crap, I like that station. The larger of the 2 Dinto flapped his ears downward in perfunctory sadness at someone else's loss. Yeah, rerouting's going to cost a crapload of credits. The humans had a next table and looked over at the 3 with a puzzled expression. They looked back at him, both Dinto moving their ears into a gesture of commiseration. Did you know anyone there at Horsehead? Yeah, Horsehead's my home port. The Varaxi winced. Oh, sorry, bud. Can I buy you a drink? I wouldn't turn down a drink if you let me get the next round. He switched tables and gestured to the waitress to move his open tab with him. What are you all talking about? The Zuvat. Oh, that spider worm thing. Yeah, it's a pain. Pain? Oh, yeah. Lost a couple guys before we figured it out. A couple? The Varaxi's eyes went wide, and the Dento's ears flared in surprise. They glanced at each other, then back to the human. 2 casualties. Generally, a station evacuation costs dozens of lives. Well, it'd take us a few days to catch the critter. Catch? Said the large Dinto. A Zuvat, said the small Dinto. The human looked at them. Well, you can't just leave them loose in the ductwork, can you? Them things kill people. What do you all do? The 2 Dinto dipped their ears towards the Varaxi, who answered, We evacuate the station until they starve. The human stared. That could take months. The Varaxi flexed his ears, no, and tossed back his drink. Dublixvelda, out near Orion Nebula, has been uninhabited for 16 years. The human shook his head, disbelievingly. That's just wrong. Why would... Once it's loose in the stations, it'll travel through the ducts. It'll come out any place in the station. It'll kill whoever it wants and breed. The human looked on in non-comprehension. Then his eyes widened as he looked down. While he considered, he took a moment to gesture to the waitress for another round. So you have to evacuate, the Pharaxi continued. Get the people to safety. Make sure it doesn't get off that station. And no eggs traveled in anyone's belongings. Several times the human looked like he was going to say something, but stopped himself. Finally, he got a few words out. Why would what? You can't kill those things. Of course you can. They're just animals. They can take on a full plaster shot and regenerate. Well, sure, if you let them. The Pharaxi set down his drink with a thud. Let them? Yeah. Why would you do that? How do you not? You trap them in one section, give everybody a gun, and don't let them rest. I think it only took 7 shots before the thing just gave up running. Running, said the large Dinto. Azovat, said the small Dinto. Yeah, regeneration takes food and time. After about the 3rd shot, it knew what for, made the most pitiful squealing noises as it scrambled through the ducts. Never heard anything so pathetic in my life. Pathetic, said the large Dinto. Azovat, said the small Dinto. The human looked back and forth between the Dintos. So, is that some kind of comedy routine? Because it does sound funny. Wait, you heard it? Sure, like I said, home base. Everybody was there. The larger Dinto looked at him seriously. You killed a Zevat. Hell no, we caught it. He paused for a moment, but the Dinto said nothing. The eggheads think the venom is going to be a miracle drug. Or maybe a liqueur. They're still hashing that out. Turns out milking them is pretty easy. Milking, said the large Dinto. Azovat, said the small Dinto. The human nodded. The Pharaxi glared at him, then fed it all back, voice growing more and more tense with each phrase. So let me get this straight. Azovat got onto your station. You knew nothing about it. A human died. Some first human shot it with a blaster and still died. So you threw more men with blasters at it until it finally got exhausted of killing people, and it gave up. About like that. Not just men, though. Hell. A 6-year-old girl hit it the 3rd time. That's when it figured out that it was scared. The Pharaxi looked down at his newly filled glass and glanced at the receding waitress. He was not nearly drunk enough to believe this. And, this is normal for humans. What? What's abnormal? The first person it killed was a kid. No damn way in hell I was going to get away with that. You don't mess with our kids. You have a formidable group response. Damn right. But that's not the only reason not to mess with our kids, he grinned. The last shot went to my 10-year-old nephew. The 3 were speechless. Yeah, the spider-worm thing just collapsed, looking up at him with those 5 big old eyes and whimpering. The human looked at the 2 Dinnets. Go ahead, say it. Whimpered, said the large Dinto, but his heart wasn't in it. Azovat, said the small Dinto, devoid of expression. The human smiled proudly and finished his glass. Yep, it took everything I had to tell him no, too, when he asked if he could keep her. End of story. I would like to thank our T5 members and patrons, Casper Arnholtz, John Creighton, Vidmori, 050, Dragzoon WRE, and Elijah Silvercross. Thank you very much.